Your advantage in picking stocks is your direct experience with companies as a consumer, on your job as a professional, or as a neighbor. Use those advantages as a place to start looking for good stocks. You have several things that you possess that will make you a good investor. They're inherent to your life. It's the field you work in. It's the area where you live. There may be some local company that's terrific. You're a consumer. You see some products. You see some services that are terrific. We bought a Volvo. It was better than the American station wagons. It was safer. The price was right. I did a little bit of research. I found that Volvo, the stock, it's a Swedish company, was selling equal to its cash. You're paying almost nothing for the company. They had lots of other divisions that were doing terrific. Buying that car turned out to be a great way to begin researching the stock. Sometimes people take things for granted. My field was the mutual fund industry. In the early 1970s, the industry grew slowly, but then it took off in the 80s. Money piled in to money market funds, to equity funds. Like an idiot, I missed stocks like Dreyfus, Pioneer, T. Rowe Price, Strategic Investments, Franklin Resources. There was lots of companies that went up dramatically. These are my own field. All I had to do was buy these things. It was really dumb. Back in the 1950s, a fireman from New England noticed a factory in his town seemed to be hiring and expanding all of the time. This person didn't have a Cray computer, and he wasn't a professional investor. He was just an observant neighbor. He decided to put $2,000 per year into TAM brands, then called TAM Packs. By 1972, the fireman was a millionaire, just from using his local edge. If you know something that will drive a company's earnings higher, you know something that will drive a company's stock higher, sooner or later. But you can't just guess at it. You have to have some reasons, such as costs are coming down, or a new product's going to be a big hit. Research is developing a company's story, an idea of why earnings should go up or down. It doesn't mean sitting in the library for hours, reading SEC filings, or fiddling with a calculator. Research is exciting. It's very little math. When I owned Chrysler, it was the biggest position in my fund. When I was at a movie theater, at a sports event, I'd run into somebody driving a minivan. I'd ask them, what do you think of the minivan? Would you buy another one? What do you like about it? People would say, well, it's a little underpowered. They only have a 4-cylinder engine. I knew they were already working on a 6-cylinder engine. So this is research. Research starts with the things you know, your edge. If you're a mechanic, look at the tools you use. Which are the best? Which are the best value? Or if you're a doctor, see what new technology saves the insurer money, or software systems that reduce costs at hospitals. You probably already know a few companies quite thoroughly. The amateur investor probably can follow between 5 and 8 companies. They could lecture in these 5 or 8 companies. They know them very well. There's 10 to 15,000 public companies in the United States. There's lots more overseas. So you don't have to be experts on lots of companies. You just have to know a few very well. It's a lot of fun. It only takes a few hours a month. It's not a full-time job. I owned Dunkin' Donuts for 12 years. I think I might have talked to them once every year. The story didn't change a lot. You don't have to worry about low-cost imports coming from Korea when you own a donut company. You don't have to worry about the economy. You don't have to worry about somebody inventing a new computer chip. The story doesn't change that much. McDonald's earnings have gone up, I think, more than 80-fold over the last 30 years. The stock's gone up 100-fold. What made McDonald's earnings continue to grow? If they had just stuck with a cheap cheeseburger and a cheap hamburger at lunch, they probably would have run into earnings problems 10, 15 years ago. But they expanded their menu, they kept their costs low, they added breakfast, they went overseas. Every day they add 2 or 3 more restaurants. People thought there was no room for more McDonald's 5, 10, 15 years ago. They were wrong. If they had done the research, they would have said, well, there's a couple hundred countries out there. There's lots of places to grow.